Central New York, and hello, hockey fans all across the internet, and welcome to 315 Hockey Live, brought to you by 315hockey.com and powered by Michael Falls. We have got a fantastic show lined up for you guys tonight. This is going to be so much fun. And before I bring our guest in, it looks like our co-host has just signed in as well. He is the one, he is the only Mr. Jeremy Roberts. What's up, pal?
How are you doing? I don't know how good the quality is because I don't really have headphones, but we'll see how this works.
You know what? It's working just fine so far. Looks like you got a Utica club sign behind you. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm at the nice new facility Nexus Center right now. So
beautiful. All right, well, let's get this show started. We're going to bring our guest in. He is the head coach of the #1 ranked Utica Pioneers men's hockey team. He is the one, he is the only Mr. Gary Heenan. Coach, thanks for coming on. How are you?
Hey, guys. It's been a little while. Good to see you again.
Absolutely. So, listen, your team is 18-2-1 overall. You're 16-0-0 in the UCHC. You've won 11 straight. But I got to ask you something. Has it sunk in yet that your team is the #1 team in the country?
You know, it's you hear it, like people congratulate you around town when it happens, and it's great publicity for the program, for the city, for the college, certainly for the guys. I mean, they enjoy that. But the pairwise ranking, we're #2, and in the end, that's the one we need to be #1 in, and we've got room to do that. So we like our spot. We lost the first 2 games of the year. We haven't lost since then. So we're trending the right way. Is there work to be done? There's certainly a lot of work to be done, and some concerns we have with our schedule. But to be in this place right now is certainly something we've accomplished, and we're proud of.
Excellent. Can you elaborate on those concerns with the schedule?
Well, I think last year and years past, our league, I'm not sure it's prepared us for post league competition. And so, if we had flip-flopped our schedule where we played Stevenson to end the year, or Adrian to play end the year, I think those are big, heavy games where your guys are used to shoulder contact and playing top 10 teams. And so, coming off like last weekend when we play a Kings team and we have the puck on our stick for a lot of the night, and they're not forechecking aggressively. We're not turning the puck over ever. Our goalie's not making big saves. We've got to challenge ourselves in practice because the game competition right now isn't at a national level. Where, for example, Hobart's playing Norwich this weekend. Adrian's playing St. Norbert. And those leagues have an advantage preparing their teams for the national tournament. And certainly, come semifinals and finals, we one, we plan to get there, and B, when we're there, hopefully we do run into a Stevenson again, a good quality hockey team that can bring out the best in us.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think last time you were on the show, we had talked about that, whether you would rather face a tough team to start the season or play your tougher competition to end the season. And you make a great point because that's what's preparing you for, the post-tournament runs and stuff like that. And it's funny, you mentioned the Kings College series. I mean, you guys put 176 shots on goal between the 2 games. Just as a kind of a wise guy question, did you actually feel bad for their goalies after a while?
Well, I felt actually great for their goalie, and I'll tell you why, because he had an unbelievable night.
He sure did.
Great.
Absolutely.
It's a career memory for him, and some say you really embarrassed their program, but I would flip that. I would build a foundation around that goaltender, and he took off his mask several times in the third period, and he was just soaked in sweat, and he was just breathing fire, and a credit to that kid, and to the team. I mean, they hung in there. It was a couple goal period in the third, and we broke it open, finally getting to them. But it was different than the UNE thing. So, what we're focused on right now is when we played UNE in the NCAAs last year, yeah, we outshot them something like 45-16 or something. But we were perimeter. Although we had the puck, we didn't penetrate. And so our focus right now is make sure we have 2 or 3 dirty goals, and the pretty ones will come. But we've got to penetrate. We got to get in that hard area. And we were there against Kings all night, and that kid was still coming up with them. So a credit to him, but I did like the way our team stayed pedal down, and we were penetrating and getting to that dirty area.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he's from Huntington Beach, California, just like Dante Zapata, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we had noticed that, and I'm sure those guys get together in the summer, and maybe that's why he's so prepared. Dante's got one of the heavier shots in the league.
Absolutely. So like you'd mentioned, you started the season with the losses to Adrian, but as the season progressed, you got better and better. You overcame the injury to Justin Allen. What were some of the other key factors in this team really just putting the pedal down for the rest of the season so far?
Well, I think Adrian was actually big for us, and it's easy to say after a loss. We would have loved to have that first game win, or where we should have, we kind of blew it late. But, we were playing again that kind of soft skill perimeter, turn it over in the neutral zone 20 times. Really an ugly. Our goaltender wasn't playing yet. I mean, we weren't very good. We just weren't. And that's why we got pummeled the second night. And we deserved to be. We really did. It wasn't that they were that great. They're a very good hockey team. We were that bad. We were awful, atrocious. So, as we got through that very tough next weekend, Stevenson, and fortunate enough to get out of there with the travel schedule.
Sure.
If we had dropped one of those, which we easily could have, we might not be talking today. So we get through there, and then we start just honing in on our details and just getting better to the style of game that we want, something we want to be known for, our identity. And so we're establishing that. And for this team, it's been hard because, for instance, the 5 All-Americans, I would say right now, not one of them is going to be an All-American this year. Now, they could finish strong in the next 4 games and have a great playoff run where they do. No question about it. But to this point, if we voted today based on points, I don't think we have one. And for these guys, that's a huge blow to ego, to where they want to be pro players next year. And so there's a bit of fogginess there. And certainly Justin Allen missing 2 months of the year, that really screws him, right? It really does.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind, it really hurt our hockey team, because I do think he's the premier defenseman in the country. Believe that. A lot of those guys were hurt. The points just were coming as they were last year. And for whatever reason, we've had to change our style of game a little bit. And now the points are coming. Like Monkovic is really hot right now.
Yes.
Buster's coming alive. Zapata with snake bit. He's starting to score. Curran's leading our team. Allen's back. Kimball's back. We missed for 2 months as well. And I believe those 2 guys are the 1-2 in the country, and they're starting to go. And so it's coming, and Land's had a real slow start to the year. We had to challenge him and coach him aggressively, and he's responded to that. So I like where we're at. Are we guarded just because, it's very easy to play a men's league perimeter game against some of these teams. And we have to challenge our guys to the point where, Jesus, coach, we're up 7-8-1 and you're just ripping us, and you're never happy. We swept the weekend and you're pissed. And, there's just little categories within the game that
Little things.
they have to be on if we're going to, it's preparing to play the top 10 teams against sometimes the bottom 10 teams. And that's what we have to remember. And so, I think our leadership group gets that. And it's up to them to make sure that message is conveyed when I'm not in the room. And I think they're doing that. So our buy-in right now, I think, is high. And, I'm excited to see where we go over the next few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you mentioned John Malkovich. I mean, he's been on fire since you guys came back from the end of semester break. And, another thing I wanted to ask you about, too, with the power play. So it started a little bit slow, but now it's clicking, just like, everybody expected it to. Was that something that you guys concentrated on getting, back up to what you would expect? Or was that just kind of a natural progression with the talent that you got?
It was a weird one. Because we really have the power play intact. We missed Bussel, who was a net front guy. Everson was a bumper guy. But all other 8 guys were back. And you're thinking, cripes, we went 40% last year, number 1 in the country. It should be right there. And similar to the guys just kind of being in a fog that it just wasn't coming naturally to start, we started squeezing sticks and we just weren't, just wasn't connecting. And to be honest, there was a lot of games our power play looked really good and they just weren't going in.
Right.
So we tend to be patient. We've tweaked it here and there, and certainly we've tweaked some personnel. We've got a key injury on that PP unit right now, one of them that we're going to have to give someone an opportunity to step up. But long story short, we've been patient with it. It's jumped up to, I think, 24% right now. We were last in our league maybe a month ago, which is crazy to think with what we have. And in the last 4 weeks, we've vaulted to number 1. So it's coming, and hopefully it's trending the right way because, we all know down the stretch, just one power play goal can mean the difference between hoisting hardware or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because overall you're number one in offense in Division III at 5.52 goals per game. You're now up to number 9 in the country on the power play at 24.68. So yeah, it's for sure it's coming along. Absolutely. I wanted to ask you about too was you've got Connor Fedoruk, you got Lucas Herman, you got Kimball Johnson, you got Jacob Bro, all transfers from D1 programs that are really contributing to the team this year. How huge has that been for the team so far?
Yeah, I think we really did our work. The transfer portal's something that's new, and we thought that would be a fertile recruiting ground for us, and we went hard on it. And quite honestly, we probably had 20 Division I transfers we went serious with. And the more and more you comb through the video and you comb through background and why are they transferring? Is the coach getting rid of him because he's just a jerk? Is he not a team guy? Is he not willing to do the little things? Is his ego that big? He's not on their power play. He's like, screw this, I'm out of there. And we were able to narrow it down to those 4 guys. And to be honest, Chris Carroll was committed to Merrimack right up to the 11th hour as well. So we picked him up so late off of Division I. So we really consider the 5 guys Division I transfers, and they've all played an integral part. And every one of them has been humble in their approach. I mean, look at Remy taking off this year. He's a Division I transfer.
Yes, last season.
That was just humble and just happy to play a 4th line center role last year, not making a peep, and look at him just flourish now. So our Division I transfers have really been huge for us. And I think the teams we talked about, your Adrians, your Geneseos, St. Norbert's, Oswego, Norwich, we're going to be sought after for Division I transfers just because of atmosphere and tradition and winning. And if you do your work, I think they can really benefit your team. I think if there's one of those teams that have had that I mentioned, one of them's have a real bad experience with Division I transfers, so much so that they're now refusing to take one. And I think if you take 1 or 2 of them and they're transferring because they're bad apples, because they're bad teammates, it could blow up your locker room. It can really make for a tough year. And we've been fortunate. We've got the right guys.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Seeing the guys come in out of D1, they fit the locker room. Like, they jumped right in, and they were like, it almost seems like they were there for the whole 4 years.
Yeah, it's their attitude has to be, and if we failed on a Division I transfer before, of course we have. When they come in and they think this is D3, it's going to be easy, and they don't work and they don't buy into the team concept, and they try and take the locker room over because they're the D1 guy. It doesn't work. And so, these guys and half our team are transfers, like even Curran, even though he's a Division III transfer, he's the captain of a Division III team. These guys all came in humble and knew there was other leaders here, and they just kind of took a back seat and found their way. They earned their way. They earned their trust of their teammates and respect of their coaches and teammates. And so we've been fortunate with that, but I do think Nick Therian did his homework, and the 2 of us made some hard decisions and brought in the right group.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's interesting you mentioned Nick Therian. So he's the one that basically does the scouting for that type of thing, or?
Yeah, so we kind of divvy up the country. It is just the 2 of us. And, so for an example, the week before Christmas, I always go down to Texas and do the NA South, North American Hockey League South. And that's kind of always been my baby. And I think you're going to see a really healthy class out of that league this year. We got 3 calls from an agent today, and I call Nick and say, I need you to do the video work on these 3 guys. So he would watch all their video, and he would recommend whether I watch it after that and then continue with the agent or the head coach at that point. So Nick does a lot of the dirty work. If it's a midweek travel game we can get to within, say, 8 or 9 hours, he'll make the ride. And then he'll decide whether or not I've got to get involved if the kid's any good. But Nick's been unbelievable. We're just lockstep with what we believe, and he's a quiet personality. I'm not. He's more of a gentle guy. I'm not. So we really rub off each other really well, and we're same thing like as the transfers. I mean, I am really lucky to have Nick Therian as an assistant coach.
Excellent. So, and I'm looking at my notes here. You mentioned Brian Landsberger. He's only given up 11 goals in 10 games in the second half of the season as well. So that's hats off to him.
Yeah, and if Decker was the goalie coach was to hear this, he knows I'm about to say this. It's not hard to play goalie for Utica College. Like it's not. Uh, we don't give up a lot. We're pretty buttoned up on our defense. We don't give we have a tweak in our offensive system this year that we give up a couple big grade A odd man rushes, and it's by design. Like we're pressing in an offensive situation that has both D down by the hash marks activated in the offensive zone. And we give up that big grade A twice a game. So even though there might be only 15 shots, you better make two big ones. And so I think the shots were 30-4 against Kings, and the game's 2-1. And I'm going off the ice. Decker's talking to Landsberger, and I'm like, "Are you effing going to make a save or what?" You know. And it was a power play goal. He only faced 4 shots, and we're in a 2-1 game, 30-4. And yet I did. I thought it was a soft goal. And it's my job to hold him accountable and to challenge him. But while in my opinion, it's not hard to play goalie at Utica College, a goaltender's opinion, Decker, Therians, Lambert would be like, I don't see a shot the entire period. And with a minute to go, I got a breakaway coming at me. And that's your fault because it's your system and your design as a head coach. And he's not wrong either, So it is challenging for them for sure. They don't see a ton of rubber, but admittingly, we are giving up some big chances on purpose. Like our goals have to go in when we have possession, and if they don't, we're just gonna be susceptible to giving up a home run once in a while, and we're gonna need Landsberger to make that save. And again, he's been making them for the most part, so he's come a long way this year, and he's trending the right way.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And it's you mentioned the defense, but the offense, you're so right. I mean, that has been a well, not really that noticeable, but I mean, it has been noticeable too, though, because you're right. They're constantly down there. But when you have a D-core made up of Justin Allen, Connor Fedoruk, Jason Dobey, Kimball Johnson, the list goes on, that's certainly you have that option available for sure.
Yeah, we're total deactivation. We've got those guys diving walls and diving back doors, and what we call high rollovers, low rollovers. A couple of them have bombs, and the guy suffered an injury because our own D hit him with a shot in that front. So it's we're the D have been really good. We've got a good D core. I think they're as talented as anyone's, and it's just something we're definitely, it's 100% night and day in what we did last year. Those guys are as active 5-man cycles as you'll see of any other team. It's a fun, exciting brand, and it's one we're going to ride on the way out here.
Yeah, absolutely. So was there a game or a series where you said to yourself, okay, there's the Pioneers team that I've been expecting. Here they come. Look out, world.
Yeah, and I think it's just, to be honest with you, I think it's just recent. Like I'm talking about 2-3 weeks now, where like a Kavanaugh is getting hot, a Monkovich is getting hot. We haven't changed our top 3 lines in those last 4 or 5 weeks, and we're starting to get a swagger where we're starting to believe we can't be beat. And I remember the 2020 year, we were number 1 in the nation going in, and we got shut down in the quarterfinals with COVID. Nobody was beating us that year. I mean, we just had that feeling like we weren't going to get beat. Right. And last year we rode another big streak in the playoffs, and here we are unbeaten in the last, whatever it is, 18. And we're starting to get that swagger and that feeling. We're only taking 1 to 2 penalties a game at the most, which is huge. So, the goaltending's been good. We're not taking penalties. We're scoring goals. That swagger, we're close. We're close to really having that unbeatable feeling. And we've got a team this weekend. I call it hockey fever right now. My wife will tell you it comes around this time of year where, I'm just jolting in bed. I'm not, you wake up, and I'm really worried about this weekend because this team, I think, is one of those tweener teams. It's a first-year team, but they got a ton of transfers from Norwich, Plattsburgh, good D3 programs, not D1s. And if you're not careful, they're good enough to beat you. They'll play a heavy, hard style. They'll come out to try and bang us around, which I like. And if we sleep on this team, we could embarrass ourselves. So, sometimes you can show up and you can play a bad game, you'll win. If we don't show up, we can lose to this team. If we show up, I know we can't lose to this team. So, it's just making sure this team's ready coming off a 4.5 hour bus ride. And those are challenges you got to face. So I have no reason to doubt this team. But as a head coach, it's just one of those kind of things that you lose sleep over.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Jeremy, you've had your finger on the pulse of this team all season long. What have you seen?
Dominance. In a word, dominance.
Yeah.
Obviously, the first two, you're playing a powerhouse team, like Coach said. That's not a fluke. Those teams, that team in Adrian, that's a good team, and we possibly could see them again. And it's the first game jitters, so of course we may not have the chemistry yet, but I think right now the chemistry and the dominance that we're showing, it's the 2020 team that we had. The swagger, talking to the boys, and just not talking to them about hockey, just talking to them. You can see the glistening in their eye. You can feel it. They got it. They're dialed in and they're ready to go.
Yeah, and they are, and I think the adversity when you lose an Allen and then you follow that right up with a Kimball, your 1-2D are out for significant time, both out for 2 months.
Yeah.
So we've had that adversity. We've won those games, and what's nice with the team is when you win those games, you don't need one or two guys. That you're deep enough you can get it done still against really good teams at that time.
Yeah.
So the belief is there. It is a team effort. We don't need one guy. If one guy goes down, we've got a guy who can step in and fill it. And so the depth is there. And will we suffer injuries? We're gonna be missing a couple key guys this weekend. You guys will notice. And so that's an opportunity for somebody to step up, and that's what we call it, just next guy up. Next man up. And I'm confident going the weekend, and I hope we're buttoned up and we can bring it into last weekend and then right into playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I tell you, we're looking so forward to seeing that UCHC tournament being played right there at the Adirondack Bank Center.
Well, I am too, but I'm going to be in New Jersey, unfortunately.
Well, I'll let you know how it goes.
I'll be watching. I'll be watching. I'll be in New Jersey, so it's kind of sweet. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's either do I go see my son or do I stay home and watch UC. So
yeah, right.
Yeah. Take your son every time. Yeah.
Coach, I got to do the shout out to your son. Your boys are up in Quebec right now.
Yeah, they went up today. Should be arriving any second, and they play Team Romania tomorrow. So that's a pretty cool thing. And Saturday they just got day off, so they're going to enjoy the Carnival up there, and then they play the winner of either the Boston Junior Bruins or Team Ukraine. So really cool experience. And the U10. 2010 Utica Junior Comets are up there for 10 days. So teachers aren't loving them, but I'm not sure moms are either, but all the dads are.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome. I had to give a little shout out to them. So
absolutely awesome. Appreciate that. Yeah,
that's right. If you got hockey players in your class as a teacher, you just got to know to expect that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, they're rarely there. Yeah.
Coach, we do have a viewer question here. Daniel Fontana wants to know, any plans on remodeling the locker room since women moved to the Nexus?
Yeah, it's an exciting opportunity. So a shout out to our women who are having their best season to date.
Absolutely.
Just on a roll, and saying, like, we're very similar in our styles and our scoring and veterans, and they've just taken that Nexus rink over and they love it. They feel good. They got a brand new locker room. They're going to have the choice to play in playoffs, whether they play in the Nexus or they play in the Odd. And I'm going to be shocked if they play in the Odd.
Yeah.
Just because they have mojo going in that rink.
Yeah.
So if you haven't taken in a women's game recently in that rink, there's atmosphere. I mean, you get 300, 400, 500 people watching our women's team, and there's atmosphere. It's fun. It's great. They're fun to watch. So, we have their locker room available to us, and we've got to make decisions on what we're going to do. So it's not on our mind right now. Is there a possibility we could do some improvements? Of course there is. But we'll get through this year, and then we'll sit down with our administration and see what we want to do.
Excellent. And Barry Shelley wants to know, are you going to be on any more Comets telecasts?
I was asked this past Saturday to do it with Shy, and it was a rare Saturday night for me, and my family wanted to all go for dinner. So it's tough to give up the one Saturday night you have in 3 months to do that. But I do miss it. There's quite a few people that say hello to me because of that, which is fun. So hopefully there's some playoff games after our season. Those guys are obviously doing well, and we wish them well. And it's just enjoyable. So if I get the chance, I'll jump on it. But I don't think you'll see me until our season's done.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hey, see that you got some support right there. Tamitha Picola, it looks like, says, I have more students miss school because of cheerleading competitions rather than hockey. So there you go.
Yeah,
That's
Tammy's
excellent.
great, and she's got both, hockey players, and her daughter I know is reffing at the youth hockey. She does a great job, and she's one of our big fans, and she'll know the player I'm talking about because she used to billet the guy who's injured right now. So if she doesn't know that, she's probably calling him as we speak, saying what? But she's a great supporter, and her whole family is. So we love seeing them in the rink.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Coach, we really thank you for coming on here. We'll let you get home to your family. But just one quick question before I go.
Sure.
Your Leafs, they going to take the Stanley Cup this year or what?
No way. They're going to go out in 4 games.
Yeah, unfortunately, and my players get sick of me showing Leaf highlights. Like we teach through NHL clips, and probably 9 out of 10 we show our Leaf clips. Just because of who I watch. But when I saw them play the Bruins 2 weeks ago, and the Bruins beat them, I think 3-4-1. In my eyes, they don't have the decor yet, and the goaltending's average, and so I don't see it happening. It's unfortunately, it kills me, but I see a first round exit again. I like the way the Rangers are going right now. Certainly, the Bruins are going to be there. I love Tampa, Carolina. Those I think are going to be your front runners on the east side.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that Eastern Conference is going to be a war to get through.
It always is.
Yeah, no question about it. It's going to be fun. I mean, I think it's going to be fun, but would I put my house on the Leafs this year? No, I'm not going to.
Coach, I got a question. I ran into Fracchiola before I came up and got on. He was asking who's going to get dinner Wednesday night.
Yeah, so we have some alums coming into town, and he said he was going to be a few minutes late, and so of course I said, well, the last guy always pays, and
so that's of course coming from.
They're saying the oldest guy has to pay, which is me, of course. So, but yeah, next Wednesday, I'm really looking forward to it. We have some guys flying in for some important alumni meetings on campus, and somewhere we'll be out in town, and you'll probably be able to hear us from your homes because it's always great having those guys back and telling some old war stories, and really looking forward to that night. I'm glad you brought it up.
Awesome. That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, Coach, again, thank you for taking the time to come on to talk to us. It's always a great time when you come on, and we really do appreciate it.
All right. Hop on for the ride, guys. It's going to be a fun one.
Absolutely. We won't miss a game. So thank you, Coach. Appreciate it, and best of luck the rest of the season. All right, Coach Gary Heenan. I love it when he comes on the show. It's so much fun.
Isn't it? It's just so much fun watching. Listen to him. Having the two perspectives of having the guys, the players, and then having him come on, it's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, Jeremy, I think we'll take a quick commercial break while you're walking through the rest. It looks like the Nexus Center there.
Yeah.
You going to stick around for segment 2?
Probably not.
No? Yeah. Well, we're going to do a recap anyway of what's going on. So
I'll before you take a break, I'll give the viewers at home.
Yeah. There you go.
I'll cover for you. I'll cover for you, Jeremy.
There it is right there. That's Master Vito Rink 1 right there. That's where the Utica women play. And that's pretty much the main rink of the Nexus Center of the 3. So
it's they're all nice. I mean, they're really,
really absolutely
bad rink. I mean, you really can't say like, oh, this is the bad rink.
Yeah, no.
It really is bad.
I don't want to play at that one.
Yeah,
okay,
this rink sucks. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, now we come over to where my son's practicing and probably get a few hockey dads in the shot soon enough. So.
Hey, there you go. Now they're over in rink 2, correct?
Yeah.
Nice. And there it is, right from the catwalk. Nice. Love it. That is so. I'll tell you, I love watching games on that rink too because you're standing right over the ice. It's awesome.
It's a different view. It's definitely different.
Definitely, for sure. That is so cool. But all right, brother. Well, hey, listen, it's always fun having you on, and you're welcome anytime. And I love how you mentioned it's the little things. Dale Purrington would be proud.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
I said it, and I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah. I was saving that.
I don't know if I should have said that, but I did.
Yeah. Well, if Scott hadn't, I'm always here for you, Jeremy.
Dave was the safety net on that one.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
No problem.
All right. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to recap what's been going on here in Central New York and look ahead to the weekends.
Visit My Little Falls and stay connected with the latest news, information, and events in the city and the area. Our mission is to generate interest in the community and connect residents in a more meaningful way by facilitating deeper conversations about how these stories will shape the future of the Mohawk Valley. Join thousands of weekly visitors who stay up to date with feature stories, interviews, videos, our event calendar, and print publication, the Mohawk Valley Express. It's about timely local news for the community, keeping citizens informed about important issues, telling about the people who live and work here, and giving locally owned businesses the opportunity to reach a very targeted audience of locals and tourists alike. It's a whole new form of media-rich content developed specifically for today's mobile lifestyle and listeners. You can download our iOS app in the iTunes Store, listen to our country music streaming radio station, or sign up for a weekly newsletter. Stop by today at mylittlefalls.com. You'll be glad you did.
And we're back with segment 2 of 315 Hockey Live. We're going to recap what's been going on here in Central New York region, and we're also going to look ahead because we got a big weekend coming up, Dave.
I know.
A huge weekend.
Yeah, you got a little comment here about the rink view that Jeremy showed.
Oh, yeah, let's see it.
Yeah, I got it up there for you.
The rink is nice. Yeah, it is. It's Dirty Fighter. He's awesome. He's right there. It's such a great view of that rink. But anyways, we want to give a big congratulations to the Clinton Warriors girls varsity hockey team. They won the Section 3 championship last night, Dave. They beat Skaneateles 1-0 in double overtime. McKinley Ronan scored with 11 seconds left in the game, and Casey Clausen got the shutout in goal.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's really cool. And just to piggyback that, being proactive over here, you know what? We're going to have them on the show next. Their head coach, Rob Kopak's coming on next week with some of the Warriors next Thursday night, 7:00, to talk about their big win of the Section 3 championship, and they're going to the New York State Final Four, which starts next weekend at the Nexus Center.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it's going to be really cool having them on. All right, so let's see what else. Tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be down in Hamilton at the Class of 1965 Arena covering the Colgate women's hockey team taking on the Yale Bulldogs. Colgate's number 4, Yale is number 2. This game's going to be huge. Starts at 3:00 tomorrow. You know what? Yale's got one regulation loss this season, and it was to Colgate.
Okay.
Colgate beat them December 3rd, and, Yale's won 15 straight since. But, like I said, Colgate's already beat them once, so this is going to be one heck of a game. It really is. Colgate's in second place in the ECAC. Yale, of course, is in first. But the Raiders can close the gap a little bit with another win here. I'm going to be down there doing some live tweeting.
Oh, scary.
Yes.
You bringing Mr. Twitter with you?
I am bringing the bird.
Wow. I carry 2. I have a
spare. Well, yeah, so you're going to want to follow 315 Hockey on Twitter, Of course, get our live tweets, and of course, all of our social medias, and I'll have an article about it. As a matter of fact, speaking of articles, out on 315hockey.com right now, we do have a preview of that game coming up, or it's out there right now, actually. Anything you want to know statistic-wise, we put in there where they rank nationally, who the top scorers are, top goaltenders.
Awesome.
Hey, we got it covered.
Got it covered.
We got it covered. All right, so let's see. A lot of action coming up this weekend, buddy.
Yep.
Tomorrow there's a ton of high school games. I do want to let everybody know too, on our Twitter, on our Facebook, and our Instagram. Every day we put out the Central New York schedule during the day, so everybody knows what games are coming up. And then later on the night, usually about 11:00, I put the recap, the scoreboard out. So we got that.
Do you sleep?
Well, rarely, but
rarely.
So you wonder why I get so loopy sometimes?
Well, I haven't wondered about that. I know why.
Oh, okay. Well,
one too many pucks to the head.
Well, yeah, there. I got guys that tell me they can't shoot a wrist shot, and then they whistle one right by my head.
There's that.
But like I said, we got a ton of high school games coming up tomorrow, and the Utica Comets and Syracuse Crunch return to action.
Yep.
So they've been off for almost a week because you had the AHL All-Star Classic there. The Comets are hosting the Hershey Bears tomorrow night, and then on Saturday they travel up to Laval to take on the Rocket du Laval. And the Crunch, well, actually, they're going to be in Laval on Friday night, facing those Rocket, and then they come back home to host the Rochester Americans on Saturday. So did you see any of that AHL All-Star Classic or the skills competition? It was pretty cool.
I've been so busy.
You know what I like about how they did that though? Because the skills competition was on Sunday,
right,
and then the game itself was on Monday. Well, the AHL had games all the way up right till Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Comets played Saturday, and then Nico Dawes, who was the Comets rep, and then for the Crunch, it was Gabriel Dumont, Alex Beret, and Darren Radish. They all were playing in the All-Star game. So they played their game Saturday and then traveled north to Laval the next day to go take part in the skills competition. Jeez. But you know what was nice? You didn't have that long, drawn-out break like you got going on in the NHL right now, because they have to they have to schedule in breaks and then the week off. It's almost like you forget about the NHL's playing sometimes.
I didn't know they were.
Yeah,
so just kidding.
No, you weren't. Yeah, no. All right, so real quick rundown of the games that are coming up here in college for the weekend. We mentioned the Colgate women. They are like I said, they're hosting Yale Friday, and then on Saturday afternoon they're hosting Brown. The Colgate men, they travel to number 11 Cornell Friday night down there in Utica, and then they host the Big Red on Saturday night, little home-and-home series. The Syracuse women are hosting Mercyhurst on Friday and Saturday. The number 12 Utica Women Pioneers are at Wilkes on Saturday and Sunday afternoons. I feel bad for Coach Clausen. He's a big Eagles fan, and he's got to watch the Super Bowl.
No,
I mean, can't watch from that poor guy. But anyways, the number 6 Hamilton women, they are at number 15 Connecticut College on Friday night and Saturday afternoon. The Hamilton men, they are hosting Connecticut College on Friday night, and then they host Tufts on Saturday afternoon. The Morrisville men are hosting Cortland State on Saturday night. The Morrisville women are off this weekend. Number 13, Oswego, the men, they are off this weekend. They just played Morrisville last night. They won 6-0 there at the Iceplex. And the Oswego women are hosting Cortland State on Friday night and Buffalo State Saturday afternoon. And I do want to mention, we had the Morrisville Coach Fedelucci and Chris Mott on talking about the jersey auction.
Yeah.
You know how much they raised? Excuse me. You know how much they raised? Oh, lost my voice there for a second.
Your falsetto.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
No, over 7,000.
Wow.
$7,000.
That was great. That was good auction.
Yeah. I tell you, I lost out on my bid. I probably should have gotten smart. Just did one of the buy now right off the bat.
Yeah, right off the bat. Spend your $250.
It's
$250.
Yeah.
Right,
see, I don't do auctions often. So, it's just, I wouldn't be good on that show, Storage Wars.
Yeah. We just got to figure out if Barry, he's listening. So did he get his shirt?
Did he get what?
I don't know.
Oh, we'll find out. I'm sure we'll find out. But, speaking of Barry, he's got his big game coming up next Saturday.
Coming up.
Next Saturday, the New Jersey Warriors are coming up to Cooperstown. So
I know he's worried about the weather, but Friday night it looks cold, 12 degrees, and then 25 on Saturday. But boy, there's some warm weather in there.
Yeah, I tell you, that's he just put a comment up there. I can't quite see. Yeah, let's see. Montclair University will be bringing up their film crew to cover the Warriors while they are here, along with a few local TV stations. And, of course, My Little Falls will be there, too.
Yeah, we'll be there Saturday.
Yeah, so...
Wow, but, now that he has these big guys coming in, it's like he's forgotten who I am.
Oh, way to go. Now you're going to get them all fired up.
Yeah, Barry, just remember who your first was.
Nice. Oh, boy. Yeah, I somehow knew you were
setting it up for that.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Well, with that said, Dave, I think we are all done for this episode.
Okay.
But once again, want to thank Coach Gary Heenan for coming on and Jeremy Roberts for coming on and doing the co-hosting duties. Had a lot of fun. And like I said, make sure you tune in next Thursday at 7 o'clock. We're going to have the Clinton Warriors varsity girls team on. So for Dave the Save Warner, I'm Scott Kinville. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week on 315 Hockey Live.